Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and he's pink, he's made of felt, he's a hippopotamus, and he's always causing me trouble. It's...
How young, yeah. Hooray for me.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. And thanks to you for listening to it. All right, so last week on the last Olympian, what do you remember, Howard? Any ideas? Nothing happened.
A man took a wee out of a window.
That is true. Into a ventilation alley.
Into a ventilation alley, yeah.
I mean, we did not get very far through this script, right? In fact, all we really did was see a man wake up in bed, take a piss out of the window, throw his razor at the wall, and apart from that, we just talked a lot of rubbish.
Oh, sure.
And we discovered that you hate people from the north. 'Cause you're scum. Despite the fact that you are one, secretly, behind all this, this facade of, oh, no, I live in London now, I am posh. Oh, I live in Muswell Hill, I am right posh, me. Actually, you're a right northern scum. Anyway, so all you need to know for this episode, before going into this episode, is that this story is about someone called Samael Fell who likes to piss out the window and throw knives at the wall.
We don't know that he likes it. We just know that he does it.
Oh, sorry, important distinction.
Well, no, but okay, there's a 50-50 chance.
He certainly does it, but he might really hate doing it. Okay, let's get started, shall we?
Yes, please.
So we saw that paragraph. It was a tall concrete buildings built in the 70s, open onto scrubland. Might have been pleasant in the past, but today it looks like somebody has planted a British council estate in a Middle Eastern desert.
Right.
The lucky ones, like Samael, have rooms inside. But now Samael moves swiftly past sleeping figures huddled in cardboard boxes to a very old Routemaster bus which is parked some way off.
Ooh.
The bus has no windows and the paint has long since faded. Intriguingly, there are two horses at the front to pull it.
No windows or no glass in the windows?
No windows. No, it says no windows, so it seems like it's a badly made bus, right? It seems like it's a jail bus. I guess it means no glass in the windows.
Yeah.
Atop the bus are some snipers. Some snipers. That is a very imprecise number of snipers. We can't tell how many snipers there are. It's like, when you see some ants, you don't count them, do you?
Yeah.
But there's some snipers.
There's
Maybe there's 2, maybe there's 18, who knows? Other people from the building head to the bus. The others are mostly black. Thereafter, a wide variety of differing shades, but none so white as Samael. So we're talking about their skin.
Yes.
Samael acknowledges an tiny, clean-shaven Indian guy, Ardi. So Samael knows someone. Tiny, clean-shaven Indian guy called Ardi. They have reached the bus. A Japanese conductor, as it were. They have reached the bus. A Japanese conductor, as it were, has a portable print. I suppose it's the conductor part, because it's not a real bus.
It's not really a bus conductor.
What? Japanese, as it were. No, either he is or he isn't, right?
I don't know, he might have Samuel's nose.
So it's like you're saying he's not really a conductor because it's not really a bus, but he's kind of fulfilling that role in a sense.
Yes.
So a Japanese conductor, as it were, has a portable print reader. This is a device which reads the fingerprints of the right hand, not the wrong hand. Why would a fingerprint reader only read your right hand? What if you're in an accident and you get your right arm cut off. You're like, well, sorry, my fingerprint reader doesn't work with left hands. It's got this weird prejudice against left-handed people.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that, like, you'd have to lay your hand down the wrong way round, wouldn't you? And then it wouldn't read your prints. It'd just be reading the back of your hand.
Oh, it's one of those that's like the shape of a hand, is it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've seen them in movies because they don't exist in reality, do they?
Not yet, but in my future they do.
Yeah, because that's really ableist. If you've got a fingerprint entrance thing, and you do you make it a right hand, that's awful. What are you doing? What about people who haven't got right hands?
Yeah.
Just make it a fingerprint thing. Like my phone's got a fingerprint thing, and I can use any of my fingers. It's not like, no, only your right index finger's going to work. Fuck you if you haven't got one. Fuck you. You can't have a phone anymore.
Yeah, but they, it's a dystopia, so they really want to be able to be inclusive, but they just don't have the funds.
You might say it's a dystopia, so you are imagining. I mean, we live in a not that bad society, and it's already ableist as fuck.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about a society that's a lot worse than this, then it's gonna get worse in those oppressive ways as well, isn't it? Mm-mm. I mean, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about various.
Get away from there, you one-handed piece of shit! You're not welcome here. That kind of thing.
All right. So it reads the fingerprints of the right hand. The passengers place their hands on the device. When a green light shows, they are allowed on. So they're getting on the bus. Oh, because it is still a functioning form of transport because it has 2 horses to pull a fucking Route Master bus, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't have windows to weigh it down, so it should be really light.
It's got a lot of people getting on it. Anyone who understands horses and weight, please write in and tell us what's the maximum weight that 2 horses could be reasonably expected to pull, and would a double-decker bus full of people be beyond that or not? Then again, maybe these are future horses. Maybe they're fucking massive super horses. I mean, those geese were really big and scary, right? They'd been genetically modified. Maybe they've been at these horses as well. Dystopia of scary big animals.
Yeah, if there was some kind of nuclear incident, maybe the horses are the size of a house.
Went big.
Yeah.
Maybe the horses went big. Yeah, a weird, unexpected side effect of nuclear accident is that all the animals went big, but the humans went dead.
Only the chewing gums factory survived.
So Ardy says, "You have seen the news," because he's actually from France. He's his family's from India, but he was born and raised in France. You see, You have seen the news. Yes, this symposium. It could mean freedom for us. It is a good day to be alive. Don't hold your breath, Ardy. It's not for 3 weeks, and the outcome is far from guaranteed.
Yeah, we definitely don't hold your breath for 3 weeks, Ardy. That's not possible. Even Tom Cruise can only manage 4 minutes.
But that guy in Superman 3 did it for a long time. The guy in the car at the start. He held his breath for about half an hour.
That's true. So,
it's not impossible. Oh, we got to check. Ardy, are you that guy from the start of Superman 3? Because if you are, then you can hold your breath for 3 weeks. But otherwise, maybe don't.
Yeah, you're going to have to before Superman finally turns up to save you.
Ahead of them, a shifty-looking guy gets the red light.
Ooh, shit.
The burly guard grabs him. Probably grabs his head. Probably restraining his head, right? My hands are battered, but I'm kosher, says Shifty. The guard twists his right hand around and looks at it. Accident at the factory. The chewing
gum factory. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got chewing gum all over it, so it can't. The print reader can't read his fingers.
And he's probably got it on the reader, so now it's not going to work properly. Shit. His hands are in a terrible state, covered in chewing gum. It says the skin is melted and scarred with no hope of retrieving a fingerprint. If only it had not been for right hand specifically, but for any fingerprint. That would have been so much better.
It would, wouldn't it?
The burly guard says, "We'll do your eye instead."
Ooh.
So he's going to get his eye and shove that on the hand reader.
Yeah,
it's not fucking working.
Yeah, it doesn't recognise your fingerprint at all when I put your eye against this.
We'll do your eye instead. What? Burley brings out an iris reader, which is an eye scanning device, thank you. It looks like a Tomy game from the 80s. Brilliant.
I was planning on making this.
It looks like nothing more or less than a battery tester with a button on one end and a thing which causes the battery to be gripped.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it looks like a Tomy game from the 80s with buttons and lights, but when you press the button, it doesn't game at Tomy. Something else happens.
How long do you think it'll be before I just start referring to it as the Tomy game?
Well, first it's got to be weird Tomy game, right? It looks like a Tomy game from the 80s. Shifty suddenly legs it. That means runs away, everybody. So translate it for Americans. Shifty suddenly cheeses it, racing away from the bus. Just trying to include everyone, you know. The burly guard says, target. One of the snipers calmly takes aim. Oh, yeah, there's like a million snipers on top of that bus. You can't run away from that bus.
It's got a load of murderers on the roof.
With sniper rifles, that's the worst kind of murderer. You can't run away from them.
Whatever you do, don't put your chewing gum's hand on a print reader next to this murderer bus, because
don't put your eye on that fingerprint reader, whatever you do.
Because that's not how they work. You will get shot.
So they're murdering him. One of the snipers calmly takes aim. So if people try and get on the bus, but fail, right? He's trying to get on the bus illegally in some way, but he has failed, and so they're going to kill him. That's a strong reaction. Can't they just say, no, go away? I mean, if I try and get on a bus without my Oyster card, right, for example, and I'm like, can I get on anyway? They're like, no, get off. They don't shoot me.
Yeah, that's because they haven't got guns. That's because there's no murderers on the top of buses in London. But if there were, then that's probably what would happen. I guess the thing is, like, there's no time for like prisons and stuff, really, is there? You know, if you got prison, you've got to look after the people, give them.
You haven't got to put him in prison. He just tried to get on a bus wrongly.
Yeah, well,
just tell him to go
clearly
away.
he's like melted his own hand off, and he's trying to get on this bus to break in somewhere where he shouldn't be. The bus is going to go somewhere
Hasn't he?
good.
He's had an accident at work.
No, he's
He said
lied.
he had an accident
He's a liar.
It seems like if he's a liar, that's really bad lying. If he's just going to go and get on the bus, he's like, I'm going to try that. I'll just try the hand reader. Oh, no, my hand's covered in chewing gums.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. That's because I had an accident at the chewing gums factory. But apparently, having an accident at your work is a capital offence in this society. Because they just shoot him. Like, what was your plan? What was your plan, sneaky guy?
Well, he was hoping that they
Seems
wouldn't. They
weird.
wouldn't. But he didn't know that they had the iris readers on the bus. So he thought that like they'd be like, okay, you can go on.
So he's used his hand. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But the iris reader did work. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
And so now the burly guard knows who he is, and that like, it came up. It just said the word villain.
Yeah.
Shoot on sight. Oh, okay. So he was trying to hide his identity, but then they found it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry. All right, I take it all back. You're a genius.
That's okay. I prefer your version. Should have been more careful, shouldn't you, at the factory? Shoot him!
Well, we've already established this is a very ableist society.
That's true. I mean, if your right hand doesn't work anymore and the entire society operates on having right hands, then yeah, you might as well put him out of his misery now because he's not going to be able to do anything. If he goes to the chewing gums factory to buy some chewing gums and he puts his hand on the print reader to get them, they're going to be like, no, sorry.
Absolutely. It's kind of like the way our society is with having a head. All right. As Shifty runs towards the flats to escape, a shot rings out and he falls down dead. The snipers chuckle.
Brilliant.
Wow, that is cold. Everybody who was queuing and watched this turns back to the bus unfazed, as though this is an everyday occurrence.
Wow, that same guy gets murdered every day. Weird.
I don't feel so bad for him now, I know that. Ardy is green lit and steps on. Samael places his hand in the print reader and stares at Burley.
Ardy is green lit. That means someone's going to start making him now. They've got all the money. They're going to start making him.
You're trying to like neuro-linguistically program the producer who's reading this.
Yeah.
So using the word green lit a lot in this script. There's a crossed out bit of dialogue here. But it says Samael says, you could have let him go. And then it says Burley just stares back. And those are just crossed out. So neither of those things happen now. Samael places his hand in the print reader and stares at Burley. Samael is green-lit and follows Ardy on.
There we go. I've already started... obviously, this is a notated first draft where I've gone, that's a bit too nice of my main character to say you didn't have to kill that guy. Let's get rid of that. He's well up for murder. That's basically it. I've changed it. I'm like, actually, Sama would love that.
So this is your save the cat moment. This is
I've
you
deleted-
like, in your first draft. Yeah, you demonstrated. You didn't actually have to run over that cat with your truck. And you're like, oh no, that's demonstrating the wrong thing. Well done running over that cat with your truck. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so we just saw a man trying to get on the bus illegally, trying to get on the horse-drawn bus.
Yes.
Right, but he's not supposed to get on because when they scanned his eye, they're like, "You're not a bus passenger. You're not a legal bus passenger. You're pretending to be," and so they shot him.
Yeah, he would have made the bus just that extra bit too heavy for those horses to pull, wouldn't he? They're like, well, we can get the horses to pull a bus with 40 people in, but 41, that's just not, never going to happen.
I guess. I mean, I don't know anything about horses and getting them to pull buses, but I imagine there is a weight. Like you've got to be if you're getting horses to pull things, you have to be really conscious of how heavy what they're pulling is, right? And for example, don't make it a bus.
Don't make it a bus. Yeah.
So he got shot.
Hooray.
But then Samael, can I get on the bus, please? He got on, no problem. He's allowed.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, his friend Adi. Hello, it is me, Adi. He also got on the bus okay, so they're all right.
Good.
Cut 2. Interior, Routemaster, morning. Samael sits beside Adi as the bus pulls off. Adi talks, but Samael does not listen. Rather, looks out the window at the world.
Don't listen to him talking about fucking legs. He never shuts up about legs.
I'm really happy today because I've got both my legs with me. Yesterday I forgot one of them. I was in a rush to leave my house in the morning, and then I got to the bus. I got to the horse-drawn bus in the morning, and I realized I'd forgotten one of my legs at home, and I'd upped here. I'd been upping all the morning, and then I had to do my job at the chewing gum factory. At the chewing gums factory.
Because I'd left my right leg at home. I thought I'd better go get that. Otherwise, someone will shoot me.
So, they did shoot me, but fortunately they aimed for my right leg, and that was at home. So Adi talks, but Samael does not listen, rather looks out of the window at the world. We do not listen either. Rather, he blends into the background as the title music plays.
Ooh.
Roll credits.
Wow.
And we look out to see what Samael sees. Exterior, Routemaster, travelling, morning. We pass decimated buildings.
Ooh.
That means 1 in 10 of them's been demolished, right? That's what that means. Scrubland. Past CGI destroyed Millennium Dome.
Ooh.
All right, so what you're saying is, dear producer, don't actually destroy the Millennium Dome.
Yeah, don't send Storm Eunice and destroy it just to make my movie. We'll use CGI.
Yeah, also, young people, the Millennium Dome is what the O2 Dome used to be called, right? It's now called the O2 Arena. But it was called the Millennium Dome because it was built for the Millennium, for the New Year's 2000, as a celebration of, of domes. But do you remember, at the time, when they built the Millennium Dome, no one knew why they were doing it. They announced it a couple of years before. They're like, right, we're building a dome for the Millennium. It's called the Millennium Dome. And we're all like, why?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that's got to do with anything? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's because... They just carried on building it. It was late, it wasn't finished, because none of the Millennium things were finished on time, right? The Millennium Bridge opened in, April or something, and the Dome opened in 2002. and they finished it, and they didn't know what to do with it. When they finished, they had no plan. They just, for some reason, they're just we've made a dome for the Millennium. And they went, right, we're going to put a museum in it. That's the first plan. We had a brilliant... Okay, we built a dome. We didn't know what to do with it, so we've decided to put a museum in it because London doesn't have enough museums, right? And we're making it the Museum of Humankind or something. And people who went to it said it was really boring and shit because you can't just make a museum out of nothing because you happen to have a building that you made with no purpose for it. And now you're going, all right, we'll just have a museum of, I don't know, people. That was a dumb idea. So that closed really quickly. And then it was just empty for ages, right?
That's right.
And we know this because when we wrote Treason, when we were writing the script for our aborted sitcom Treason, which was about the royal family having to murder each other in a Highlander-style televised competition. We thought it'd be really funny if it happened in the Millennium Dome,
Yes.
right? That was the first idea. Because, and the reason that would be funny is because the Millennium Dome was just empty and pointless, right? It wasn't an arena. Nothing happened in it. It was just a big empty dome. We had the idea of turning that into an arena before anyone else did, in fact.
Yeah.
We should get some money for that.
Yes, we should.
Right. And then they did the brilliant Millennium Bridge. That's a fantastic idea as well. Now it works. But at first, when they made the Millennium Bridge, again, 4 months late or whatever, when they opened it, they're like, oh, this is an amazing bridge. This is brand new technology because it's designed that if they're like in the wind and earthquakes or movement of the earth, it's going to move with it. So it's going to be super safe. It'll be a super safe bridge that moves slightly. But they forgot to take into account that people would walk on it. Right. And the day they opened it, all these people started walking across it, and the movement of their feet made it swing left and right so people couldn't stand up and fell over. And you can see news reports on this of people just not like holding onto the barriers. They closed it like an hour after they opened it. It closed, and it was closed for about 3 or 4 more months, right? So it didn't open until summer in 2000. And what they did was they just glued loads of extra supports to it underneath. And I remember, I don't know if it still looks like that, but you could always see where the new supports were because they were a different colour and they really looked like they'd just been welded on to stop it doing the thing it had been designed for. And then there was the other Millennium thing was the London Eye. That was a Millennium thing, which was meant to be temporary. Because again, they kind of got it wrong. They're like, oh, we'll put a massive, expensive Ferris wheel up for a year or 6 months or whatever the plan was. It was meant to be really short term. And then it turned out to be the most popular thing in London. So they're like, oh, maybe we'll keep that, but sell it to an airline or something.
People will probably want to film romantic movies in our London Eye, so we better keep it up.
Would have been better if Will had taken Eve to the Millennium Dome and sung a song to her. They'd broken into the Millennium Dome. Anyway, so you go past the CGI destroyed Millennium Dome. Dear producer, do not actually destroy it. Just the spikes. The material of the dome long since rotted. Along very worn roads, not resurfaced since 2010.
Wow, it's a long time. But depending on when this is set, because if it's set in 2011, it's like, yeah.
Go on, resurface these bloody roads. And eventually we reach a big, ugly factory with a massive chimney. Big, ugly factory with a massive chimney, which is surrounded by high fences.
Is just the chimney surrounded by high fences, or is the factory itself?
I think we've got to decide it's the chimney.
Let's fence off that chimney, otherwise people are going to be climbing up it, pretending that they're Santa Claus. Gorillas are going to be shoving people up there. We've got to fence this chimney off.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. What about the factory? No, what are they going to do? Come in and steal our chewing gums? Don't worry about it. Just make sure the fence is too high for a gorilla to climb. Okay, so do you remember what happened already in this script, The Last Olympian?
Samael got on a bus.
That is basically it. He woke up in his room, pissed out the window,
Yeah.
and then went and got on a bus, right? And someone else tried to get on the bus, but their hand was wrong.
Didn't have a bus pass, so they got shot.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This bus pass is not valid. You're not a dog. You're a man. I'm a dog. Yeah. This bus pass is for a dog. Yeah. I should have gone the other way with that joke.
Yeah,
I made a dog sound.
Yeah,
I was like, you're not a dog. You've got a bus pass. It didn't work. I should have said, right, you're not a man, you're a dog. Why have you got a man's bus pass? That would have been a better joke premise, but because it would have made sense. I had to do a lot of work to try and make up for when I said you're not a dog by accident after doing a dog noise. I really undercut my own hilarious joke.
I liked it. I thought it made sense. It's like the person decided to pretend to be a dog so they wouldn't get shot. Because, no one would ever shoot a dog in a film, but they would shoot a person.
Well, no. What do you mean in a film? This is real life. So the last thing we saw was, it was on the bus. They went past the Millennium Dome, or the what's left of it, along very worn roads, not resurfaced since 2010. And eventually we reach a big, ugly factory with a massive chimney, which is surrounded by high fences. Through security gates. All right, here we go. Exterior factory, North Greenwich, morning.
Ooh, isn't that where you live?
No, I live in middle. North Greenwich is not far. I can see North Greenwich from my window.
Ooh, do you piss out your window?
No, no, it's not a Greenwich thing.
You not got a vertical alleyway out the back of your window you can piss in?
No vertical alleyway. No. But I tell you what, it's fraught getting the bus in the morning. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You've not got a bus pass, right?
I'm just trying to I've got a bus pass. I have to go up and say, hello, woof woof. Will you accept my bus pass? Honest, I am a dog. Getting on the dog bus. Because that's all there is in Greenwich, just dog buses. And the dog driver, you're not a fucking dog. Dog sniper, shoot him. Fortunately, dogs aren't very good shots, so I'm generally okay. That's why I have to cycle to work.
Right, yeah.
Because of the dog buses,
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand now. I always wondered why you cycled, but now I know that there's all those murderous dogs on buses.
Dogs trying to shoot me. Yeah. Just because I haven't got a dog bus pass. So this movie is set in my neck of the woods. It's just round the corner from me. I cycle through North Greenwich every day when I'm trying to escape from them dogs.
Yeah, and I've been there, so that's research.
So we're in North Greenwich. It's morning, and we're outside a factory. Now it says a white officer sits in a chair under a large umbrella, flanked by guards who are all people of colour. Reminiscent of the old English Empire in India. Right, that we've all seen on TV.
Yeah, that's what I often think when I go to Greenwich. I'm thinking, it's just like Imperial India, this.
So the idea is there's a white officer who seems to be in charge, and then his kind of subordinates are people of colour. So we're seeing this kind of, what's the term?
Racism.
This not the term I was looking for, but it'll do.
Yeah, not on my part, but in the world.
No, the situation. Yeah, the situation. It's a massive. It's reminiscent of the old English Empire in India, which was massively racist and murderous and awful. He watches with little interest as the bus stops and the passengers get off and trail into the factory.
Wait a second. You're not dogs, he says.
Resri Ra, says Samael. I mean, Samael is a dog's name, right? Interior factory. Huge pieces of machinery mix fluid and produce tiny little pills.
Ooh.
Here's a weird thing about your script. So this is a first draft. It says first draft, right? But you've made a few edits. We've already seen a line of dialogue strike through text, and you've struck through the word little here. You haven't deleted it. You've just made it straight. So instead of produce tiny little pills, you've just put tiny pills. You've decided that word is redundant, the word little, but at the same time, I don't feel confident enough to delete it. So I'm just going to change the font to strike through. So if I ever want it back, I can have it back. Samael and the others enter. They go their separate ways. Samael climbs some stairs. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like everything, whenever you read anything I've written, we always manage to make it sound really stupid. And so, just the act of climbing stairs just made me think that, he was mountain climbing up them. That he'd got ropes out and things.
Samael, Samael Spider-Man's up some stairs. All the others are like, you could just walk through really just normal stairs. Stop pretending to be Spider-Man, Samael. Cut to interior, changing room, morning, Samael, showers.
There we go. Because they don't have showers or anything in their tiny flats, do they? Or toilets. They have to piss out of windows.
They have golden showers if you're standing just outside someone's window.
Yeah. Sally trapped in the vertical alleyway, getting it from all sides.
So Samael showers. Samael changes into a pristine white lab coat.
Ooh.
He probably nicked that from B World. Wow. He's changing into a pristine white lab coat, so he's probably a chemist. All right. I assume. He's got to be some kind of chemist.
He's probably some kind of person that blows up children, I'm thinking.
Or someone who stops people blowing up children, because that was they put on white lab coats as well.
Yeah, and blow up a kid. That's immediately what she did.
Okay, yeah,
She put on a white lab coat and blew up a kid. It was like maybe the coats were the problem. Maybe the coats were doing it. Did we even investigate the possibility that coats are evil in B-World, not people?
Yeah, and have we checked that out in reality? Have we made sure that not everyone who wears a white lab coat is actually murdering children? I mean, chemistry is dangerous stuff, right? You're dealing with dangerous chemicals, just like then murdering, making children blow up with them. I remember at school when we did chemistry class, the chemistry teacher liked to make things blow up, right? It was all like, hey, look at this, it makes a big spark and it blows up and now you're all dead.
Yeah, I mean, if
it was my coat did it.
If the chemistry teacher wanted us to like them, then they had to make us get us to blow things up, because otherwise chemistry was boring. Have a magnesium strip, light it. Oh, what a lot of fun.
Yeah, have a Bunsen burner.
It's amazing that there was just gas coming out of those taps and we were allowed to operate them.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that is ridiculous, right? And no, like, gas alarms back then. I don't think they even existed, did they? Like, electric gas alarms weren't a thing, right?
No, the only alarm system they had in place for that was if one of the kids fell on the floor and started like wobbling around, I suppose. I think with the gas leak.
Yeah, so like John Canary. John Canary always used to react very quickly to that, didn't he? It's like, oh shit, John's on the floor. Quick, turn the gas off. Yeah, that was weird. And I feel like it was weird at the time, right? I don't feel like I felt totally safe about that, even as a kid. You know, you've got gas, which like you're taught how dangerous gas is from quite an early age, and fire. And then they're like, all right, be careful with the gas. Okay, plug this in. Okay, now set it on fire. Okay, now it's safe. Now the gas is on fire.
Yeah. They didn't teach me very well, because I used to turn it on to breathe it in, I did.
Really?
Yeah. Always
get
a bit of gas. Get a bit of gas to get makes the class more interesting, doesn't it?
You were getting high off gas.
Just a little, only a little bit. Not I wasn't doing it all the class, but like, you know,
no,
just turn it on and go.
Yeah, because then you would have died. It would have closed your lungs up or something, right?
Yeah, I think John Canary would have fallen over and everyone would have known.
Not if you were sucking it down into your lungs.
If you're listening to this wondering why his surname is Canary, then that's because, like, when we used to go down the mines in Colville, we used to take a canary down, and that was our early gas warning system.
Surely people know about mine canaries. That's not just a Coville thing, is it? Is it?
No, it's not just a Coville thing, but they don't have mines. Well, I guess they do still have mines, I suppose. But it's not. It's they're less in the public conscience now, I suppose. Consciousness.
Conscience. Yeah. We feel less guilty about mines now. We're okay with them now.
I never used that term before today, so I had a go. I think you're right.
But you like taking risks with language, don't you? We often see that with your script, where you just either make up a word or just use one and hope it means that. Just throw one in. Here's a word I've never used before, not really sure what it means. Just going to put it there, see if it does. Pinioned, there you go. It's pinioned between two things.
I think
its wings are being restricted or something.
To this day, I mean, I'm still happy with my use of the word pinioned.
So am I. That's what I'm saying. Not only are you brave, but you make it work.
Right.
All right. So, interior stairs, morning. Samael climbs stairs to an office. His office. Samael fell on the door. Samael fell. A biometric entry coder with print reader and iris reader scans the fingerprints of his right hand and the iris of his right eye, because this is a super anti-left fucking society where if you lose either of your right hand or your right eye, you basically get shot by dogs.
Yeah.
All right, I glanced at the next paragraph and I like it. Right? So, interior office morning. His office is dull and concrete.
His office sounds like the kind of place you might get given a lolly in, then.
Yeah. His office is linear. It's his office as well. You just hate offices. That's fair enough. His office is dull, but this isn't the good bit. The good bit's still coming. His office is dull and concrete, full of chemistry equipment. Liquids in jars, Bunsen burners, blackboards.
Is that what it says? Blackboards. What, with an S on the end?
Blackboards. Because, yeah, with scientific drivel. All right, because
Scientific
when
drivel.
you, like,
Yeah.
what you know about chemistry labs is high school,
I'm doing
right?
my high school chemistry lab. Yeah.
You're just describing the classrooms, and so much that the last line is, it looks like an under-equipped 60s classroom.
Ah, Howard is there sucking the gas out of the gas pipe.
He dies. His lungs explode and he dies. Samael kicks him aside and pisses on him. The thing is, like, everyone, we're not actually old enough to have gone to school in the 60s, but when we did go to school in the 90s, they were so very, it'd been such a long time since they redecorated that they were 60s classrooms. Right?
Yeah.
A blind covers a large window on the far wall. He examines a jar of liquid.
The blind man. How can he? He's blind. A blind. Get out of the way. Stop standing in front of my window. I didn't know it was there. I'm blind.
He examines a jar of liquid, pipettes a sample, and drips it in a machine. The machine blips. He turns on a computer.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Your research is really showing.
I mean, you know what it all means. I mean, nobody has to read this. They only have to, like, put it on the screen, and it'd be like a man pipetting some stuff out of a thing into a machine, and it going bip and looking on a computer. That's what I see when I watch stuff.
Just say, put the actor in a chemistry lab and just let him mess about, do what he thinks. He's going to know, he's definitely not going to know less than me. So either it's going to be the same and he'll start pipetting things, or it'll be more, in which case, well done him.
I don't know. Depends who the actor is, because the actor might be me as well. Like when I had to play that strangely carry-on doctor in a serious movie, they just kind of put me in the scene and didn't say what I'm supposed to do, like with this person who's in bed. So I'm kind of touching his thing, and then eventually someone went, "You probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't."
Wait, what kind of doctor were you? Hello, I'm your neurologist. Touch. Excuse me, doctor. Why are you? You're here to examine my brain. Why are you touching my thing? Oh, sorry, I got confused. So, what did you mean when you said touching his thing?
Oh, he's got a gangrenous wound or something.
Because you just poke him.
And they're like, "You'd probably be wearing gloves." I'm like, "Well, nobody's given me any gloves. I mean, I'm not actually a doctor." I mean, I don't know. No. I'm the dumbest actor you could possibly find. It's just me coming in to tell someone that their husband's not going to make it, and then poking him.
I don't know. I've watched TV. I don't think you're the dumbest. I think you're in good company. So anyway, he examines a jar of liquid, pipettes a sample, puts it in a machine. The machine blips, he turns on a computer. It's one of my favourite lines ever. It's brilliant. He goes to the window blind. Excuse me. My name's Simon. Come on. He goes to the window blind and, preparing himself for the view, pulls it open. Preparing himself for the view.
How does he prepare himself? Does he put on a Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses, preparing himself for a sunset, or what?
I guess so. He must take a deep breath. That's the only way you could do it, right? He must maybe grab the blind pull, the string. Grab
That's
the
my
blind
penis.
string.
Stop pulling my penis.
And close his eyes, take a deep breath, open it, and then open his eyes. That's how you do it, right? All right, so he pulls open the blind. The vista is stunning.
Ooh.
Exterior, Canary Wharf, morning. The sun is shining and shimmering on the Thames. And across the Thames, Canary Wharf lies. That's true, Canary Wharf does lie. The buildings reflecting the light covered in a golden hue.
Ooh. Hello, my name's Golden Hugh. You can't see me, blind Steve, but I mean, I'm very gold.
Yeah, I wasn't gold until this morning when I was walking past this building.
I was just traversing travelling through a vertical alleyway this morning.
Yeah. Just on my way to work, travelling down a vertical alleyway, someone pissed on me. Now I'm called Golden. Now not Hugh anymore. I'm Golden Hugh. This morning I was Dry Hugh, but that's no longer the case. Yeah, I have a view of Canary Wharf out my window, so I can see it in the distance, and I cycle through Greenwich Park every day, and past this view, just on the other side of the river to the buildings of Canary Wharf. It's very pretty.
So you get to see Golden Hugh, do you, every morning?
I get to see Golden Hugh every day, and he's always damp. A series of barbed and electrified fences run along the opposite side of the Thames, preventing entry from the river. So London's been segregated north and south, is it? So this is like a little fantasy where you get to build a wall so I can't escape South London and come and visit you. Interior office day / evening. As Samael works with various fluids, Golden Hugh complains. Haven't you done enough? Haven't you done enough with your various fluids? As Samael works with various fluids, components, etc. Fluids and components. Components, it's like electrical stuff, right?
How?
So he's got various fluids, like, his own piss and some oil, and he's got a gearbox, and he's just messing with them. He hasn't really got a job. He just likes to go to this building and mess about. We don't know what his job is yet, right? He wears a lab coat and he does chemistry. I mean, actually, that's one thing. He did go into a chemistry lab, right? He put on his lab coat and actually went into a chemistry lab.
Yeah.
Unlike 98% of scientists in TV and movies who are like, I've just put on my lab coat so I can go and do some theoretical physics. So you got that right. Exterior, Canary Wharf, evening. The sun goes down and the view is equally as stunning. These imposing buildings lit up like Santa season trees in the black sky. The fuck is Santa season, Howard? Are you just like desperately you're trying to take the religion out of Christmas, but not the kind of Western tradition?
Yeah, non-denominational Santa time. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so lit up like Santa season trees in the black sky. Cut 2. Exterior factory evening. The bus takes Samael and the other workers home.
Boring. What a boring film. Yeah, he got up in the morning. Someone got shot on the way to work. And then he came.
That was fun.
He pipetted some stuff, pissed on a man, then went home.
He went to his job pipetting. He went to his pipetting.
Went to the pipette factory.
I did 12 hours of pipetting today.
On his own as well. Like, he's got his own office. He's just like, there was nobody else there, right? Well, I mean, obviously Golden Hugh was there and Blind Steve, but I mean, they don't exist. We made them up. So he's just there pipetting in his own office.
He's head of pipetting. He runs the pipetting department, and also he's got no employees, so he has to do it all himself. And also, that's not a department, and he's just in an empty building on his own.
Yeah.
Interior, bus, evening. Samael says, and it says in brackets, knowing the answer. So Samael says this, knowing the answer. Drink tonight, Ardy. And Ardy says, no, Mr. Samael, I save my credit. Slave and save. Yes, sir, slave and save. Hey, what a fun little saying we have come up with in this fucking dystopian nightmare hellscape. Hey, let us slave and save. Yeah. Okay, no, I mean, that doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, if you're slaving, like, by definition, you've not got anything to save. Oh yeah, okay, slave and continue to slave then. Okay, that is it. Not as inspiration. No one's putting that on a picture and sticking it on Instagram. Yeah. Are they? No, not going to see that on TikTok.
It's good because it rhymes, you see, that's why it's good.
It is.
Work a lot and save your money is not the same, is it? It's not good.
Work a lot, burk a lot. It's fucking amazing. Well, I'm trying to change it. Because the problem is with the word slave, so if you get rid of that, then it's fine. Drink tonight, Ardy. No, Mr. Samael. I save my credit. Work a lot, burk a lot. Yes, sir. Work a lot and burk a lot. That is correct.
Oh, God.
Okay. You have hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
All I want to do with my money is burk it. I want to burk my money in the bank, okay? In the bank. Burking my money in the bank. Okay.
I'm not idea what's going on anymore.
Artie wants to burk his money in the bank. It's
It's
pretty fucking clear. Just listen. Just pay attention.
How many times do I have to say it? I want to burk my money in the bank.
All right, but what does that mean? I think it's pretty fucking clear, okay? I'm going to the bank, gonna burk my money in there. You know, like normal, okay? Work a lot, burk a lot. No, all right, let me buy you a drink. You clearly need one. Yeah, but what for? Like, you know, you might burk a lot of money, but what are you going to spend it on?
Chewing gum, I'm thinking. That's what you burk your money for, isn't it?
Yeah, you burk your money and bend it on booing gum.
Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you would like more, then go to patreon.com/manbycow where you can get loads of it. We will be back next week with episode 3.
Also, if you want to get your hands on your own Work a Lot, Burk a Lot t-shirt, then just head over to the manbycow.com t-shirt store.
Work a lot, burk a lot, bye-bye milk.
Bye-bye, Mill.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.